Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining. Sunil here. Welcome to the session. Welcome to the day one of DevOps on AWS course. So can you hear me? If yes, please type yes in the chat box as a confirmation. The chat is open now. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your confirmations. Thank you all for waiting. Thank you all for joining the session. Let us stop the chat. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let us stop the chat. Okay. So, what's the plan for today? As today is the first day of the course, I'll give a quick introduction about myself. Let's have quick interaction with the participants. Participants who wants to talk to me, who wants to have an introduction about yourself, your experience, any specific reason you're planning to learn this particular course, please raise your hand. We'll have an interaction with the participants. Once we complete the interaction, then we'll get into the concept of software development lifecycle. We'll spend some time learning about SDLCs, software development lifecycle, because you have to know SDLC before moving on to the concept of DevOps. Let's spend some time working about software development lifecycle. We'll have understanding about how agile model works, which is very, very important. Okay, we'll understand a high level, not in detail. We'll learn on a high level how agile model works, how is it different from the other models. We'll have a comparative analysis between a waterfall model and agile model. And then we'll understand the concept of DevOps. What is DevOps? What is the benefit of DevOps? What is the advantage? Clients get it when they implement DevOps methodology in the software development lifecycle. How the word DevOps has been derived. And then we will also discuss about the course content. What are the topics or what are the tools which we'll be covering as part of this course. Okay. So this is how we have planned for this first day on the course. So as usual, let me introduce myself. This is Sunil Kopaparapu from Hyderabad, India. I have started my career with the Oracle platform. Then I have moved my technology from Oracle to AWS. Then got an opportunity to work with DevOps. I also have worked in product development using the Python and Django framework. And I have total 10 years of experience in online training and total 14 years of experience in development. Okay. So this is about a quick introduction about myself. Then participants who wants to talk to me, please raise your hand. Let's start with Mr. Bhaskar. Good morning, Bhaskar. How are you doing? Your location and your experience, please.
Hi, sir. Good morning. I'm from Hyderabad only, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, I'm from middleware domain, like WebSphere, IBM tool is there, no?
Okay.
WebSphere
Yeah.
domain.
Yes. Very good.
So I'm planning to learn this DevOps, sir, like because in our daily work, right? So everything is moving to cloud, and we are also using bit of DevOps tools like Ansible,
Wow.
like
Okay.
while we are not creating any specific playbooks and all. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, in backend, there is a DevOps team who are creating playbooks and all. We are just executing it. We're
Okay.
just going to Ansible and we are launching it. But we don't know about the Tamil scripting and all, like what is
Mm-hmm.
the background about it and all. We are not sure. Sir,
Okay.
another thing I just wanted to know, like in this course, like in this 45 days of course, no, like we'll be covering about any specific projects, sir, so that we can update in our resume, like uh,
Yes. First of all the examples what will be covered in this particular training course are the real-time examples. Okay, so which help you to understand the subject and that particular use cases. You can mention it in your resume. And then
okay.
every 2 months we'll have one project session. We already have completed 3 projects, Bhaskar. You can have a look
Uh,
at those 3 projects which are already recorded. It is available. And then every 2 months we'll have one project by an external instructor. So we are also planning that. Okay. So those projects you can mention it in your resume. Okay.
okay. I
You
mean,
can mention that
apart
you
from
have that particular task. You
okay,
can
I mean,
claim that.
apart from this
Mm.
class, that project is a different session, sir.
Different session. Yeah, it's a completely 2.5 hour session, which will be
Oh,
planned in weekends. Okay.
okay. That thing we can update in our resume. That's what you're saying.
Yes, correct. Yeah, right.
Sir, once we complete this course, like, see, overall, my experience is around 9 years, sir.
Mm-hmm.
So, how many years I can update, sir? Like,
You have to mention 3 years of experience in DevOps. Okay.
At least 3 years
So
should be fine.
total you have 9 years experience, right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
in middleware.
Yeah.
Assuming you have, it can be any technology. What you have
Okay.
to do, you have to divide your resume. Latest 3 years of experience, mention it in DevOps. Okay. And the
Okay.
remaining 6 years of experience, mention your existing technology, whatever it is. Okay. So
Okay,
mention
sir.
that I got an opportunity to work with DevOps in my existing project. Okay. And from three
Okay.
years, I've involved in DevOps. Do you know any cloud platform like basics of AWS or something like
A bit
Ask me.
of I have an idea of a bit of AWS, sir.
Okay. That's it. Yeah.
Just I just learning through YouTube only, not any
Okay.
specific other courses.
That's
Just
enough.
an
Basics of
over
AWS is
yeah
enough.
basics of some
Mhm.
idea.
Learn more about AWS also. That will add value. Are you planning to change your organization?
Yeah. Yes, sir. I'm planning to change my
Okay.
domain to DevOps, sir.
DevOps.
So yeah.
Okay. Because everything is moving to cloud.
Yes, yes, sir. Even I
So,
joined your shell scripting class also, sir. I'm listening that one as well.
very good. Okay. How is it helping you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Of
Okay.
course.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you so
Bhaskar.
much.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Muni Babu. How are you doing? Your location, your experience, please. You have to unmute and talk. By default, you'll be on mute. You have to unmute and talk.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Muni. How are you doing?
Yeah, fine, sir. Sir,
Yes.
actually, I'm from non-IT. I'm
Okay.
working in banking sector. I
Mm-hmm.
want to switch my domain to IT. It is
Mm-hmm.
helpful. The doubt will help me for changing. Sir.
Perfect. Definitely it will help you. May I know um, when did you passed out?
Sir, actually,
Qualification?
I'm from 2017 batch.
Okay. Okay. What is your qualification?
BCom Commerce.
Commerce.
Sir.
Okay. BCom Commerce. Okay. The first thing, what you have to do, first you have to acquire the skills. My strong recommendation.
Okay.
What you're learning is DevOps now, isn't it? And all the
Okay.
DevOps tools will be learning on AWS. You should also learn one more course, that is AWS Solutions Architect.
Okay.
You should also learn one more course called AWS Solutions Architect. Okay. So
Okay,
once
sir.
you
Okay.
learn both these courses, you have to be very good because you are not from the computers background, even the qualification. You'll get less
Yes,
number
sir.
of calls, but you can have a try. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Man. Thank you.
Thank
May I know which bank you're working on?
you. Axis Bank, sir.
Okay, Hyderabad.
No, 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 sir. Tirupati location.
Very good. Okay. Okay, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Divya Raj.
Yeah, hi sir, good morning.
How are you doing?
Yeah, good.
Thank you. Yes.
Say, my question, I think I had earlier little discussed about in Linux batch style scripting.
Mm-hmm.
So like I am in production support of like 4.7 years of experience. So can I switch into like a DevOps domain?
Definitely, production support people are definitely have a better
And
opportunities in DevOps.
yes,
Okay.
if I am going for DevOps, like what they will expect after like attending this course, am I able
Mm-hmm.
to like clear interview? What
Yeah, you
like
have to
job?
mention the resume that I worked on Jenkins. This is my task. I worked on Docker. What I have done, I have created infrastructure. This was the development team requirement. We have satisfied by showing so. So you have to, whatever we are learning, you have to project it, Divya
Okay,
Raj. Okay, Ansible we will be learning. So what did you do in the Ansible? Yes, we have to perform configuration management. This is how we have to manage the inventory file. This is how we have to use the variables. It's first point participants. It's not only for Divya Raj. First point participants, you have to understand that we are not we don't think from the developer point of view.
okay,
Okay, so the way we have to handle the interviews in Java, Python is different because in Java, Python, in the development technologies like Java or .NET, they'll ask you what product you have developed, what was the functionality, isn't it? Because it's a development platform. Yes, DevOps is all about under managing the infrastructure. Okay, managing the development team, coordinating the development and operations team. So use cases are very, very important. Okay. So
okay.
So whatever we are learning in our data, in our particular training, okay, so you have to mention that how this is how we have to manage Docker. Mainly three important tools: Jenkins, Docker, Ansible.
Okay. And
Okay,
like how,
and Git also. So
Oh,
say
like,
that. So whatever we have learned, mention that that was in mentioned that that was our responsibilities. And one more important point, as I just discussed before, we already have completed projects. Divyaraj, please go through that particular project tutorials that will add value. You can project the same thing in your resume. Okay.
okay. So
Yes.
like among 4 points, like 5 years it will complete. So
Five.
how,
Sorry.
say,
Among
among 5 years, how many experience
five.
year? Yes, yes.
I don't understand. Among
Among 5 year of experience, IT experience. So
5 years
how
of
many?
experience. Okay.
Yes, yes,
You are having 5 years.
yes. So how many
3 years.
years?
You have to project 3 years.
Okay, okay,
For everybody, please mention 3 years of experience in case if you're planning to change your technology from testing or QA or some mainframes or any other legacy technologies. If you want to get into DevOps, you have to project 3 years of experience. I strongly recommend to learn this particular course also, AWS Solutions Architect. Okay, that's not a prerequisite, but in case if you go to interview, if you mention AWS skill sets also, that will add value, that will help you get more number of calls. So you can learn DevOps first and then learn AWS also. Okay, or you can learn AWS first and come to DevOps, but it's always recommended to learn both the courses. So the course what we are learning is DevOps. Okay, clear, Divyaraj?
yes,
You're
Sunil.
from which city?
Bangalore.
Thank you, Divyaraj. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Manoj Kumar,
Yeah, hi, good morning, Sunil.
good morning.
So I am from Pune,
Mhm.
and actually I am having a 9 years experience in Linux and plus support.
Production support.
Yep, production
Okay,
support.
very good.
So just want to confirm if I complete this course, so in the DevOps, how much I can show the experience. So just want to confirm.
As I told you, 3 years you can show the experience, Manoj.
Okay, 3 years.
Okay, total you have how many years of experience?
Yeah, 9 years.
9 years. So mention latest 3 years of experience in DevOps. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
And the remaining 6 years mention that you are existing technology. That is
Okay.
how you have to prepare your resume. So that you get, obviously, you have mentioned 3 years of experience in DevOps. You get the calls from the DevOps. As the market is good now in the DevOps, if you properly handle the calls, you will get the offer, and that's how you can switch. There are a lot of success stories who have successfully made their career from non-DevOps to DevOps methodology. Okay, Manoj, all the best.
Yeah.
Stay
Yeah.
focused. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Sunil. Yep.
One more final call before moving on. Shankar.
hey Sunil, myself Shankar.
Yeah.
I have 10 years of experience with .NET production support,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm planning to move DevOps. Like one quick confirmation is, other than this course, do we need to take up any other additional certification or any other external project required to get
There is
into?
no certification or something like that. Okay.
Okay.
Anyways, you will be acquiring DevOps skill set now in this particular course. You should be good in AWS also. That's my recommendation. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And participants, it's for everybody. You have to be good in the underlying cloud platform, AWS also. Okay. So be very good in important, at least 10 services you have to be very comfortable with. That will add value to your resume. Okay. Because Shankar, if you learn, look at this. The DevOps is a tool. It's a set of tools. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All these tools we can learn it on AWS. The same set of tools we can learn it on Azure. The same set of tools we can learn it on GCP platform. Shankar. The course content is the same. The tools also same that we can implement or execute it in AWS or Azure platform or GCP platform. Okay, Shankar. But this
Yeah.
particular course, as you can see the title, DevOps on AWS. We are learning DevOps on AWS. So if you're aiming for this DevOps professional, and then when you mention that, yes, I am, so very fit. If you say that I'm working on DevOps, the next question anybody will ask you, DevOps on what? So when you mention that I worked on DevOps on AWS, then they'll also expect you to be good in AWS platform. So Shankar, I recommend you to learn AWS or spend some time learning AWS platform that will add value to your DevOps resume.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Participants, let's have interaction. So let's, as we are done with the interaction, let's move on to the plan for today's session. We have to let's learn about SDLC. Let's learn about SDLC, Software Development Lifecycle. Okay. Look at this. You have a client. Assume that client is an ICICI bank. And let's say we have a software company. Any organization, could be Infosys or Wipro, TCS, any company. Okay. Typically, what happens in the industry, as you all know, clients will give the requirements to the software company. Am I right? Client like ICICI Bank, Facebook, any company gives the requirements to software development companies. Any client gives the requirements. It is a responsibility of the IT company, software company, to take the requirements, understand the client requirement, and develop the product and deliver it to the client. This is what typically happens. Am I right? You'll have client, you'll have a software development company. Client can be Facebook, client can be banking client, and e-commerce portal, any product. It can be WhatsApp or whatever it is. So you have client gives a requirement for the software companies. So software development companies understand the requirement, set, and then develop the product and deliver it to the customer. This is what happens in the IT industry. Okay. Now, when companies like Infosys takes the requirements from the company, when companies like Infosys takes the requirement from the client, there is a process. There is a perfect streamlined process of developing a product. They cannot develop product in ad hoc basis. There is a documented approach of how the requirement should be gathered and how the product is developed and how the product should be delivered. There is a process. All the IT companies follow the process of building that particular product and delivering to the client. The professional approach of developing a product and delivering the product is nothing but SDLC, stands for Software Development Lifecycle. Software Development Lifecycle is a professional approach. Software Development Lifecycle is a professional approach followed by the IT companies to develop the product and deliver it to the client. Out of these approaches, I am talking about two approaches. One is waterfall model, and the other one is agile. There are a lot of models available. There are a lot of methods, or there are a lot of approaches available to build a particular product and deliver it to the customer. We have waterfall model, we have agile model, we have spiral model, there's V model. There are a lot of models. Out of all these models, the popular models are waterfall model and agile model. Right now, complete industry, or the complete IT industry is working on the agile model. Right now, the complete industry is working on the agile model. All the companies are following the agile model. Agile model is very, very popular. But before moving on to agile model, I want to discuss about waterfall model, how the product is developed and delivered using waterfall model. You'll understand it. Once we discuss about the waterfall model, we move on to the next model that is called as an agile model. So we are now comparing these two models, waterfall model and agile model. To start with, I want to discuss about waterfall. Please have a look at it. A step-by-step process. A step-by-step process, right from requirements gathering to delivering the customers. So this step-by-step process is called as a software development lifecycle, out of which I'm discussing about a waterfall model. How the product is delivered using waterfall model. Okay, as you can see the slide, Not only waterfall model, every model starts with the requirements. Am I right, participant? Every model starts with the requirement stage. There will be regular meetings. There will be regular meetings between the client and the software development company. It is the responsibility of the software development company to take the requirements of the client properly. The most important stage is the requirement stage, because if the software development companies understand the requirements in a wrong way, obviously you end up delivering a wrong product. So requirements is very, very important. So there will be regular meetings between the client and the software development companies, and the software development company will take the complete requirements from the client. Once this activity is done, then we say that the requirements has been completed. So once the requirements has been completed, what is the second stage? The second stage is analysis. The second stage is analysis. So what happens in the analysis stage? Okay. What happens in the analysis stage? In the analysis stage, the technology components are decided. Participants, in the analysis stage, the technology components are decided. So that means, should we develop using Java? Or should we develop the product using Python? Should we develop the product using .NET? Okay, the technology components are decided. Should we use Oracle database? Should we use MongoDB database? Or should we use Microsoft SQL Server? What database should be used? What application should be used? Application server. Should we use WebLogic? Should we use JBoss? Should we use WebSphere? So the technology components are decided in the analysis part. The software development company analyzes and decides on what technology they want to build the product. That happens in the analysis part. Once the technology components are decided, let's say they have taken to go with Python, MongoDB, or whatever it is. Once the technology components are completed, one more important point is the design stage. The next stage is the design stage. The next stage is the design stage. What happens in the design stage? What happens in the design stage? In the design stage, the complete project is divided into modules. The complete project is divided into modules. For example, assume the client is an ICICI bank. Assuming it's a banking client. So banking client needs some internet banking application. Bank needs to provide, they want to develop internet banking application. So the complete project is divided into modules. Savings account, one module. Okay, corporate account, one module. NRI banking, one module. Credit cards, one module. Wealth banking, a particular. Loans, we have one. The complete project is divided into modules. The complete project is divided into modules. This happens in the design stage. So once the complete project is divided into modules, the user interface will be designed, how the pages looks like, the user experience, how the report should be designed, how does the user can experience the information. Workflows will be designed. Okay, so complete design part happens in the design stage. Okay, so this happens in the design stage. Once the design stage is completed, the next comes to coding stage. The next comes to coding stage. Here comes the role of a developer. Once the design part has been completed, here comes the role of a developer. Developers will take the documents from the design team and they start developing that particular web pages or whatever it is. Developers will take the requirements from the design team and then they start developing the code to build that particular design, realizing the design. That's part of the coding part. Here comes the role of the programmers or developers. Once the coding has been completed, the next is testing part. Once the product is developed using the development team, do we directly deliver it to the customer? No. Do we directly deliver the product to the client? No, not at all. We should make sure that the product which is developed is free from errors. To make sure that it is perfectly satisfying the requirements, the testing team will jump into action. Okay, they use some tools to test whether the application is perfectly working or not. So that's the testing part. Assuming testing is positive, that means everything is okay as per the requirement, then we deliver. If everything is perfect, then if testing team says that the product is everything is okay, then we deliver it to the customer. This approach of building a product, and delivering it to the customer is called as what model? This is called as waterfall model. Waterfall model is first of its kind, the first model in the software development also. Waterfall model, this approach is the first approach of software development lifecycle, most successfully used approach. But now in the industry, no one is using waterfall model. Every client, every company is using the agile model, because agile model is having some advantage when compared to the waterfall model. We have understood how the waterfall model works. Okay, so every stage you have to do a specific activity. But there is a problem with the waterfall model. The waterfall model is suffering with some disadvantages. Waterfall model is suffering with some disadvantages. So let's spend some time understanding the disadvantages of the waterfall model. The most important disadvantage of the waterfall model is one stage is dependent on its previous stage. Participant. The most important problem with the waterfall model is that one stage is dependent on its previous stage. That means when the coding part should happen, when the developer should start working only after completing the design stage. Developers will start working only after completing of the design stage. So developers will wait for the design team to complete their job. Testing team, when the testing should happen? Participants, testing should happen after completing the design part. So all the testing team will wait for the development team to complete their activity. Obviously, before development, they cannot test. Obviously, before development, testing cannot happen. Testing team will wait for the development team. Development team will wait for the design team. Analysis team will wait for the requirements team. Only after completing the requirements, basing on the complexity of the requirements, the technology components are decided. So one team will wait for the other team to complete their job. Let's say the design team, assume participants, please try to understand there are 50 developers involved in the project. And then let's say there are 10 designers involved in the project. 10 resources are involved in the design stage. 50 developers are involved in the coding part. Let's say the design stage says that they need 1 month time to complete the design part. So how many developers will be waiting for 1 month? 50 developers will be waiting for 1 month, just idle time. Because the one resource can start only after completing its previous resource. One team will wait for the other team to complete their work. Keeping 50 resources idle is a very, very expensive affair. If the design if the design team says that we cannot complete in 1 month, we are extending for 1 more month, so we need 2 months. Again, the group of developers should wait for 1 more month. Same case, testing will wait for the development team. Design team will wait for the analysis team. Because the way the database should be designed is completely different when it is Oracle product or when it is MongoDB, it's completely different. The user interface for a relational database planning will be different. The user interface for MongoDB database is different. So the design team will wait for the analysis team to take the decision. The analysis team will wait for the requirements to complete their task. One team will be waiting for other team. So when there is a lot of dependencies, it's very, very difficult to meet the deadlines. Software development company will give a commitment that they will be delivering a product on specific date. It's very, very difficult to meet the deadlines in the waterfall model because of the dependency. So the most important point is the dependency between one team to other team, which causes the delay and difficulty in achieving the timelines. Second point. The most second disadvantage is in the waterfall model, as the name suggests, waterfall, water always falls from top to bottom. There's no concept of water going back from bottom to top. Waterfall in the same way, we need to move forward. There's no concept of moving backward. That means once the requirements is freezed, waterfall model does not encourages the clients to give new requirements. Waterfall model never encourages the clients to give the requirement. Let's say requirements are freezed on January 1st. Let's say requirements are freezed on January 1st. So based on the requirements, analysis happens, design happens, and developers will also code. So everything based on the requirements, it's freezed. Now, after a couple of months, if the client again reaches to the company and they want some changes to the requirements, no, it is not encouraged. The waterfall model does not encourages the clients to give new requirements. They freeze the requirements on a specific date. According to the freeze requirements, they deliver the product, that's all. But this is not suitable in the current industry. The current industry, the business is dynamic. The model should be robust enough to accept the new requirements along with the older requirements. The software development model should be robust enough to take the new requirements and deliver the new requirements along with the old requirements. It should be very robust and flexible. The software development, so waterfall model does not encourage the clients to give new requirements at all. These are the main two disadvantages of the waterfall model. So let's have some time learning about that. Please have a look at it. It is very difficult to estimate the time because of dependency. It's very, very difficult for the software development companies to define a deadline because of the waterfall model. Once an application is in the testing stage, it is very difficult to go back and change. There's no concept of going back and changing something. There is no concept of going back and changing the requirements. There's no concept of going back and changing the design. Nothing. There's no concept of going back. Okay. So your model does not encourages the clients to give new requirements. It is not good for complex and object-oriented projects. It's not suitable where the clients have a chances of changing the requirements. Not suitable for projects where the requirements are at moderate at high risk of changing. If a product is such a way that there's a regular change in the requirements, definitely this waterfall model does not support those kind of clients. So this is the problem with the waterfall. Maybe waterfall model is used, no doubt, probably 2 decades back. No doubt it is used 2 decades back. Now it is not used because of these problems with the waterfall. First, dependencies. It's very, very difficult. Because of the delay in one stage, it impacts the rest of all the stages. Second, this does not encourages the clients to use. These are the two important disadvantages because of which waterfall model is not used now. The complete industry is replaced with the next model called as an agile model. The entire industry now is completely working on agile model. Agile model is having no doubt having a great advantages when compared to any other model in the market. Okay, so let's learn about agile model. First, let's have a discussion about agile theory about agile model, and then we get into the concept. Look at the terminology. Terminology is very, very important. Please have a look at the terminology. Agile model is also called as incremental. Look at the term incremental. Software is developed in incremental rapid cycles. This results in small releases. Each release building on previous functionality. Each release is thoroughly tested and quality is maintained. Look at the terminology. Agile software development method emphasizes on iterative, incremental, evolutionary, incremental, rapid cycles. Look at the term iterative, repeated, incremental, evolutionary. What does that mean? How the products are built using agile model? What do you mean by rapid cycles? What do you mean by iterative? What do you mean by incremental? Let's try to understand it. Okay? Look at this example. Let's say this is the requirement of the client. Okay? This is the requirement of the client. The client is an ICICI bank. They need an internet banking application to the customers. Now, I'll give a comparative analysis how the development happens if waterfall model and how the development happens in the agile model. Let's start with waterfall model. In the waterfall model, the first stage is what? Isn't it? In the waterfall model, the first stage is the requirement stage. Now, what happens in the requirement stage? The requirements team will take the requirements of personal banking. They take the requirements of privilege banking. Requirements team will take the requirements of wealth banking. They take the requirements of private banking. They take the requirements of NRI banking, business banking, small and medium scale enterprises, corporate banking. So these are all modules. The requirements team will take the requirements of all the departments or all the modules, and then they declare saying that the requirements has been completed. In waterfall model, there will be milestones. Every stage is a milestone. The requirement stage has been completed because the requirements of all the modules are ready. The next is analysis. Analysis is all about technology components, not specific to module. Next, design team, design stage. I'm talking about the design stage. What the design stage happens, the designers will design the user interface, user experience, workflow designing, database designing, everything happens in the design team. They design the personal banking module, design the privilege banking module, design the wealth banking module. Like this, it can be 10 modules, but they design all the modules and then declare, and also they will mail to the customer saying that the design part has been completed. The design part has been completed. Okay. 1 minute, please. So like this, they go as a stage by stage manner. So once the design stage is completed, so you will, the client, so the product development company will have complete design documents of all the modules. Once the design has been completed, next comes the coding part. Development team will be involved in the module 1, development team will involved in the module 2, module 3, module 4, module 5, module 6, like this. They start building the code, writing the code as per the design documents, as per their inputs. Once the development activities has been completed, then they declare saying that the development stage has been completed or the coding stage has been completed. Next, testing team will test all the modules. Okay, stage by stage manner it happens. The development happens stage by stage. Unless the testing is everything is okay. Then what happens, please observe, we will release or deliver all the modules to the client. The client will start working on the application. Perfect. This is what happens in the waterfall. Now, whereas the way the product is developed using the agile model is different. Agile model is different. Look at the way agile model works. Agile focuses on iterative, incremental, evolutionary. Have you observed those terms? Now let's try to understand why those terms are available in the theory. Look at this. In the agile model, obviously any model starts from the requirements. The requirements team will take the requirements of personal banking. Okay? Personal banking requirements have been. Let's say requirements has been completed for the first module. Then what the requirements team will do after completing the first module? Participants? Once the requirement of first module has been completed, what will happen? The requirements team will move on to take the requirements obviously to the second module. They start taking the requirements of the second module. When the requirements team are busy taking the second module, the analysis part of the technology components are not specific to module. The design team will jump into action. The design team will be designing the module 1. The design team will start designing module 1. So here, observe how many teams are busy. 2 teams are busy. The requirements team is busy with the second module. The design team will be busy with the first module. Actually, as per waterfall model, when the design should start, designs should start after completing all the requirements of all the modules. Now here it's not the case. Evolutionary, incremental. Look at the next iteration. Let's say requirements of privilege banking has been completed. The requirements team will move on to the wealth banking. Let's say design team has completed the design of personal banking. Design team will be busy designing the privilege banking. Development team will start working on the first module. Development starts. Now here you have to understand the complete workforce is in action. Requirements team is busy in action. Design team is busy with their particular module. Development team is busy because they are developing first module. The complete workforce is in action. You can deliver the product at much more faster rate when compared to the agile model. Look at the next cycle. Requirements team busy with the private banking. Design team busy with wealth banking. Development team, assuming that they have completed the code for the first module. Development team will be busy with privilege banking. Testing team will be busy with the personal banking. All the 4 teams are in busy. Next cycle, requirements team busy with NRI banking. Design team busy with private banking. Development team busy with developing wealth banking. Testing team is busy with the second module. As the first module is tested, we will deliver the first module to the customer. In agile model, there is no hard and fast rule saying that the complete project should be delivered at once. That happens in the waterfall model. We hand over the complete project at once. Whereas in the agile model, it's an evolutionary. First, we deliver module 1 to the client. At least clients are happy. Okay, they can experience how exactly the module is working. Incremental. Instead of waiting for years together, at least client is happy. They can experience they can also start end user testing also. There's no hard and fast rule that the entire project should deliver at once. Evolutionary, incremental. cycles. Are you understanding? Clients are happy, at least they're experiencing the first module. The entire workforce is in action. Clear? Clear about this? So that's how the product is delivered in rapid cycles. Okay. And once the client and agile model encourages the clients to give new requirements, there's no hard and fast rule that it should not give that. They are allowed. The model is robust. That's once they start using first module, they came to know some new requirements. They'll encourage they'll obviously the new requirements. Again, the new requirements will be designed. The new requirements will be developed and tested. Because we have break the entire project into modules, right? Clear? We have break the dependence between one team to other team. Clear? So I hope you understood the way the product is developed and delivered to the customer in that agile model is completely different from the way it has developed from the waterfall model. And waterfall model is all about dependency. Agile model breaks the dependency between one team and the complete workforce is in action, which helps the customers to meet the deadlines in very, very easy way. Am I clear? Please respond in the chat box. Am I clear in explaining you the differences between the waterfall model? Most important point is the waterfall model will hand over the entire project at once. But the agile model, it's not the case. We will be delivering it in incremental fashion. Clear about this? So it saves time and it also encourages the clients to give the new requirements. Thank you very much. Now the point is, even look at this. Assuming the waterfall model, if by waterfall model, let's say software companies will take 2 years to deliver the project. The same project, same quality, the agile model, you can deliver it in just 1 year. Comparative analysis. The project, if used waterfall model, it will definitely take 2 years or more. The same project, if the waterfall model is used, you can deliver it in same project in 1 year. Clients are happy because they're expecting they're getting the product as per their commitments. And the software development company is also happy because clients are happy. Clear? So this is a main important difference between and obviously waterfall model does not encourage the clients. That is not at all suitable in the current industry. Agile is always robust. Now, the point is, what are we learning? We are learning DevOps, right? How is it related to software development lifecycle? Why did we spend some time understanding agile model? Our plan is to learn DevOps. Is it related to agile? Yes, it is. Now, problem is delay. The problem is delay. When compared to waterfall model, comparative analysis. When compared to waterfall model, agile model is speed enough. But now the clients are in such a way, the client gives the requirements. Now they want the product to be delivered in just 3 months or 4 months. 1 year is a long time. In such a faster way, clients are expecting their products to be built and delivered. When compared to waterfall model, okay, agile model is fast enough. But now, even 1 year, assuming 1 year delay is also long time. Clients are expecting their product to be delivered in just 3 months. In such a faster way, clients are expecting their products to be built. So we need a catalyst which helps in running the software development agile model much more robust, much more speed. We need a catalyst for the agile model. Okay, so even clients are not ready to wait for years together, 1 year for the product to be developed. They want the product to be delivered in much more faster way, maybe in 3 months or 4 months. Okay, so the software development companies out of Fortune 500 companies, 10 IT companies have done a research work to understand the word delay in the software development lifecycle. Even the agile model is used, that is taking 1 year. What is the delay which is causing the 1 year time? After doing a research work on delay, understanding, identifying where exactly the delay is happening in the software development lifecycle, in spite of using agile model, and then they got a result of that particular research work. The delay is because of participants, in spite of any model the software companies are using, there is a delay, and the reason for the delay is gap between development team and operations team. Main cause for the delay is the gap between development team and operations team. Okay. Now, it is very important for us to understand this statement. What do you mean by gap between development team and operations team? To understand this statement, you have to understand two important terminologies. What do you mean by development team and what do you mean by operations team? First, we have to be very clear with these two terminologies. Once you're clear with these two terminologies, you can understand the problem statement, that is gap between development team and operations team. So let's try to understand what do you mean by development team. What's there in the development team? It's pretty, you can easily visualize development team is nothing but a group of developers. That's all. Yes, you are right. Development team is nothing special. They're a group of developers involved in a particular project. They get the requirements. As per the requirement, they develop the product. That's what the development team does. It could be a group of Java developers, Python developers, irrespective of the technology. Development team is really easy to visualize. Now let's try to understand what do you mean by operations team. It is very, very important for us to understand the operations team. People who are already having some experience, they can easily understand what do you mean by operations team. But let's spend some time to understand the term called operations team. What do you mean by operations team? What are the responsibilities of the operations team? Let's try to understand the concept of operations team. Please have a look at it. Look at this scenario. Let's say there's a small software development company, a small company of 100 employees. There are a lot of small companies, right? Visualize a small software development company of 100 employees working for a couple of projects. Okay, 100, let's billable employees. Okay, 100 employees directly working for a particular client. If there are 100 resources working for a particular project in a small company, do you think right from the first employee to the last employee, do you think everyone is a developer? Assuming in a company there are 100 resources working for one particular project. If there are 100 resources built for a particular project, right from the first resource to last resource, do you think everybody is a developer? Do you think everyone performs the developmental activity? It's not the case. All big software company giants like TCS, Infosys, they mention that these are the thousands of employees they have worldwide. Do you think every employee is a developer? Or employee who are working for a particular project, everybody is a developer? It's not the case. Do not be under impression that all the people working in the IT industry are developers. It's not the case. Maybe in a group of 100, let's say 50% are developers. Okay. What about the remaining 50 resources who are not developers? Obviously, they're not developers. If they're not developers, then what will be their activity? What do they do? Why did we hire them? In a company of 100 employees, 50 employees are developers. That's okay. What about the role of other 50 employees? What will be their day-to-day activities? Development team, their activities we can visualize. Okay, they start developing the code. They make sure that they develop the code without any errors. They satisfy the requirements. Okay, it's very easy to visualize. What about these set of people who are not developers, but they are very important? You cannot neglect them. Don't be under impression that only developers are critical in the IT company. There are only developers are important. Only developers are great. Don't be under such kind of impression. There are set of other people who are not developers, but they are very critical. They're very important. Those people who are important, critical, but they are not developers. They don't write Java code, .NET code. These set of people who are other set of people who are not developers comes under operations team. The group of people who do not belong to development, but they are built by the client. They're involved in the project. They have their day-to-day responsibilities. So set of people who do not belong to development team are called as operations team. You may have questions, Sunil, what will be their responsibilities? Yes, that's what we are learning now. Operations team responsibilities. Development team responsibility is very simple. They develop the code. So there's a set of people who are very busy with some activities. Without the operations team, development team cannot perform any progress at all. The responsibilities of the operations team is installing the server hardware and operating system. It is whose responsibility to maintain server. As you know, there will be development instance, production instance, QA instance. It is whose responsibility to maintain these instances. Do you think the Java developer will maintain these kind of servers? No. Configuring the servers, configuring the network, configuring the storage. Very, very important. Monitoring the servers. Servers should be monitored 24/7. It is whose responsibility to work in the night shift as well as day shift. They'll be the operations team responding to the outages. In case of because of any reason server is down, it could be hardware failure or some memory issues. Who will be responding? Happily, development team sends a mail saying that the servers are not working. Please check. But there should be some people who will be performing an action, working on that particular issue, responding IT security to make sure the security of the IT infrastructure, to maintain the firewalls. Who will be doing it? Do you think the developers will be doing it? Change control, version controlling, backup and disaster, production support. Once the product is delivered, who will be providing support to the customers, clients, with respect to production issues? Obviously, there should be resources, skilled resources to perform all these activities. So these resources are called as operations team. These resources are called as operations team. Now the point is, the reason for the delay is the gap between development team and operations team. I'll give a simple scenario. I'll show you one. I'll explain you what I mean by gap with a small example. Let's say development team are building a product using Java. Sorry, assuming the development team is building using .NET framework and they are using SQL Server database. Now the development team have decided they want to experiment without using SQL Server. They want to use Oracle database for the .NET application. Yes, it is possible. The development team wants to change the database from SQL Server to Oracle. So for that, they need an Oracle instance. So who will be providing Oracle server to the development team? Tell me. Who will be providing the database server? There is a skilled resources called Oracle DBA, database administrator. They comes under operations team. It is a responsibility of Oracle database administrator to talk to the development team, check what version they want, and then as per the requirements, they will be provisioning the database server and then giving it to the customer. Development team. Who will be doing it? DBA will be doing it. Let's say the Oracle DBA is in leave for a period of 1 week. Assuming the Oracle database administrator is in leave for a period of 1 week. So what happens? Delay. Development team cannot progress their work because of there is no infrastructure. Database is not available, the required database version. Let's say the resource, he may be in leave or the resource has left the organization right now, there's no database administrators. Or the complete servers are full. There are cases where the complete servers are full, so at least they cannot development team needs 1 week in advance. Then give the requirements 1 week in advance so that the DBA can provision the infrastructure and give it to the development team. So there are several cases where every problem will cause the delay, whether the lack of resources, lack of skilled people is causing the delay. Now, as a DevOps team, you can overcome this delay, this scenario, by providing the Oracle instance as a form of a container using the tool called as Docker. As a DevOps team, you can provide the Oracle instance. You don't need to depend on DBA. If the DBA is not available, as a DevOps team, you can jump into action and then you can provide the required infrastructure. Even though you don't need to learn DBA, you don't need to learn Oracle. Without knowing that, using the Docker, it's all about provisioning infrastructure on demand. We can provision that particular server, Oracle database server, and give it to the development team. That is possible by using the tool called as Docker. So that's the role of a DevOps engineer. The term DevOps is derived from two words, development team and operations team. The term DevOps is derived from two words, development team and operations team. Okay, so let's learn about our role. DevOps is a methodology that promotes collaboration between development team and operations team. So you will be part of every communication between development team and operations team. Your responsibility is to make sure that there is no delay in the software development lifecycle. This DevOps methodology, DevOps is a methodology, it's a concept, and that is implemented by using the DevOps tool. This DevOps methodology helps in deploying of code into production much more faster and automated way. You can implement automation. As a DevOps engineer, you can implement automation in software development lifecycle. Once the developers will make some changes, okay, that will go to the development instance, and then it should go to QA instance. QA script should be executed. If the changes are okay, then we deliver it to the customer. Automated. When the changes are very frequent, you can automate the process of delivering those changes to customers. This you are responsible to the DevOps team. This enables in rapid development of products. Okay, look at this. So DevOps is all about coordination, and DevOps can be implemented by the tools. These are the tools which we'll be learning in our DevOps course. The prerequisite is Linux. We'll spend some time learning about Linux, and these are all the DevOps tools. We'll start with Git, that is version controlling, and version controlling system, and source code management system. Maven is a builder tool. Jenkins is a CI/CD tool which helps in making the changes automated, delivering the changes to the production automated way. Very important. Docker, as I just told you, infrastructure tool. Docker Swarm is a infrastructure orchestration tool. Kubernetes also orchestration tool. Ansible configuration management tool, which helps in configuring huge number of servers. Operations team will be very difficult. As a DevOps team, you will make their life easy by using the tool called as Ansible. Monitoring tool, Nagios, and Terraform. Infrastructure provisioning tool. So these are the tools which we'll be covering as part of our training course. And the small change in the slide. It's not 6 p.m. It's 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. 5 days a week. Clear? Clear about this? Perfect. What's our plan for tomorrow? As we had an introduction to DevOps now, tomorrow we'll jump into practicals. As you know, the prerequisite for DevOps is Linux. I hope you are good in Linux, but anyways, there are people who are not good in Linux. We'll spend some time learning about Linux, our plan for tomorrow's session. Okay, so we'll be creating a Linux environment on AWS, and we'll be getting started with Linux commands. We'll spend a couple of days working with Linux, and then we move on to the actual tool that is called as DevOps tool, starting with Git. The duration of the course is approximately 45 days. Clear? Now it's time for your questions. Any questions, you can email to support@logiclabstech.com. But anyways, I'm there here for you. Yes, Bhaskar, good morning.
Yeah. Hi, sir. Good morning. Sir, related to the project side, earlier you said right there will be separate sessions on weekends. No?
Yes.
Even that project will
Not
be,
every
I mean,
weekend. Every 2 months, we'll
yeah.
plan for every 45 days or within 2 months, we'll plan for one project. Now, in the month of May, we are planning for one project. Okay, now it's April ending, right? Next month, we'll have one project session.
Okay, I
Every
mean,
project
that
is
needs to
recorded.
be, yeah, I mean, that is separate charge that we need
No, no,
to
no.
opt that separately, or
It is free.
if we include it, I mean, if we take this course, that will be add-on, sir.
Correct. Yes. It is free. The
Oh,
DevOps
okay.
project is free not only for our students. Anybody can join. It is open to public.
Oh, okay.
Need not be our participants. Okay. We will be posting that particular Zoom link in our Facebook group, in our WhatsApp groups. Paid candidates as well as not paid candidates, old candidates, anybody can join. It's absolutely open to public.
Okay, sir.
Okay,
Sir,
Bhaskar?
that one also will be on AWS or?
Yes, it is on AWS.
Okay. Sir, thank
Okay,
you.
Bhaskar. Any questions? Okay. So plan for tomorrow. Good morning.
Hey,
Dharanjay.
hi, good morning, Sunil sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have one question, sir. So during the, I mean, like during the classes or else after the classes, so how can we contact you, sir? Like, will you provide any email
First point,
to
yeah,
contact you,
you
sir?
can you can if you have any questions, Dhananjay. Okay. You can email me if you got some errors. Okay, you can email me the
Yeah.
screenshot, okay, with the error screenshot so
Okay.
that I can look at it. First point, next point,
Okay,
every
sir.
session is recorded, Dhananjay. Whatever I am training in the session, each session is recorded. Am I right? You'll get the recordings. And in case if I'm using any notes or code, I'll be sharing it to you. Okay. So that will be
Okay,
helpful
sir.
for you. In case if you have any doubt, you can reach out to my personal email address.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Yes, Sunil. Good morning. I can see the hand raise. Sunil. Rachel, good morning.
Hello.
Morning.
1 minute,
How
Rachel.
is
1 minute.
okay?
Good morning, Sunil.
Yeah, good morning. So as you told you that AWS solution architecture part uh, is covering this course, or you needed to add that. Suppose I need to complete that course also. So that is the
If you
difference.
want to
Also.
learn, AWS Solutions Architect, okay,
Mm.
this is a completely different course. This is duration 30 days, completely different topics. Whatever we are learning, these are DevOps tools. Okay. Can you see anywhere AWS services? No, not at all. These are all DevOps tools, but AWS is completely different course by a different instructor also. Not the same instructor, not me. It's a different course. If you can see the upcoming batches, we are starting AWS weekend batch is started last weekend. Okay. And the regular AWS batch, this is AWS Terraform. This is different. AWS Solutions Architect is different. Okay. We'll be starting it within 1 week. We'll get the schedule. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Sunil.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, thank you. Good morning, Rachel. You can unmute now.
Good morning. I wanted to find out about your personal email because the one you showed is the support, the Logic
Okay.
Lab support.
My email is 1 minute.
Okay.
Just Sunil at instead of support, you can just write Sunil. I'm sending it in the chat box also, Rachel. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Yes, Dinesh. Yes, Dinesh, you can unmute and talk now.
Yeah, thank you. Very good morning. So you were saying like these AWS, right? Like AWS DevOps, but will you provide some basics on the AWS or like what?
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Very good. So, whatever AWS required for DevOps, I will cover it. Okay.
Okay.
10% of AWS is enough, Dinesh, for DevOps. Okay.
Okay.
The 10% of AWS concepts I will teach you. Okay.
Okay.
But when you go to interview saying that I have 3 years of experience in DevOps, they expect more on AWS. not just 10%. To learn this concept, 10% is enough, but to crack the interview, 10% of AWS is not enough. So that's the reason I recommend you to completely join the AWS exclusively course. Okay.
Okay.
But
Understood.
whatever the AWS topics which are required to learn DevOps, I will teach. Okay. So there is no prerequisite. Anybody can join. Even though you are zero in AWS, you can join. You can understand, no doubt. Okay.
Okay. So is there any programming language required for this, AWS DevOps or,
No.
what it might be, AWS Solution Architect?
No programming is required.
Okay. Fine.
Okay.
That's
Because we are not developers. There's no coding involved in it.
okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks.
Good morning,
Good
Venu.
morning.
Good morning, Venu.
Hello, can you hear me, sir? Sir,
Yes,
can you hear me,
Venu.
sir?
Yes, I can hear you.
Sir, may I know yes, sir. May I know the AWS Solution Architect batch timing, sir?
It is not yet decided. Okay.
Upcoming batch, sir.
Upcoming batch you're talking about, right?
Okay, sir.
See, in the upcoming
Yes, sir.
batches, there is weekend batch which started last week. Okay. Okay. So, and AWS start will soon. Okay. We will update you in the WhatsApp group.
Okay.
Okay. So within 1 week, we will start a new batch. Participants, very important point. There is a WhatsApp group exclusively created for this particular batch.
If it's in, if it is not,
Your
it's
voice,
coming,
your voice
it
is
would be
not clear. Participants, I hope you are in the WhatsApp group. If you're not in the WhatsApp group, please join the WhatsApp group, which I have just posted. I'm sorry, not this one. I'm sorry. Don't do that. This is shell scripting. Participants, this is batch number 302. Whatever we have just started today, this is DevOps batch number 302. There's a WhatsApp group exclusively created for this particular batch to get the updates about our sessions. So it's always recommended. If you're already in the group, that's okay. If you're not in the group, please join the group now, which I have posted in the chat box. Yes, Venugopal. AWS, you will get the update in 1 week when we are starting new batch. We'll be soon starting new batch. Okay, Venu? Yeah, thank you. That's all, my dear friends. I hope you have enjoyed the session. See you tomorrow, where we learn the process of creating a new AWS account. Our plan for tomorrow is to create a new AWS account and create a Linux machine, and we'll be getting started with the commands of Linux because that's a prerequisite for DevOps. Okay. Until then, have a good time. Thank you. See you tomorrow using the same Zoom link like how you have joined today. The same link also works for tomorrow's session. Have a good time. See you tomorrow. Thank you very much.